Hello and welcome to Business 343 Labor Relations at Liberty University. My name is Stephanie Holland and we will be discussing the grievance case number 6, work requirements for holiday pay. Next slide. Employees have the right to receive holiday pay. Saga Food Services rules and regulations are legal so long as the parties agree to them. The relationship between the employee and the employers is bound by contract law. Arnett's interest was represented by Teamsters Local 444, and the company's policy is in total compliance with the collective bargaining and contract provisions. Next slide. The selected role that I've selected is the Director of Human Resources. As the HR Director, we are responsible for managing and evaluating the human resources. Responsible for remuneration of the employees, and we're also in charge of hiring and firing the staff. Therefore, John Arnett's case would fall under my department. Next slide. The overview of the main points of the argument is arguing against any payment for Arnett for the one day he did not work. Arnett would be blamed for being absent without permission. He is also absent on a working day that is required for the holiday pay. Given the rationale for why he was denied personal leave, revisit the contractual agreement and the company's expectation of each employee, and remind Teamsters Local 444 of the ignorance about the contract agreement, or ignorance of the contract agreements. Mention the reason behind refusal of the junior officers to grant permission to Arnett to go on personal holiday. Next slide. Affirm the company's position and the refusal to allow Arnett to go on leave. Reiterate the company's policy about payment and work. Mention the importance of permission with respect to paid personal leave. Promise to allow her and enjoy a paid personal leave in the future, and mention the relevance of the contract law in the case. Next slide. John Arnett has been working as a truck driver for the company. He was part of the collective bargaining unit, therefore he knew the rules and regulations. The collective bargaining was handled by Teamsters Local 444. John Arnett is subject to 4 10-hour days of work in a week. Arnett's work began on Tuesday through Friday every week. Arnett demanded a personal leave day on Wednesday, 2 days after the holiday. The shift manager denied him permission for the leave. Next slide. The company never denies a personal leave if requested 1.5 hours to the day's shift. Arnett was denied personal leave because he did not work on Monday. Employees who work on Monday had their Labor Day holiday on Tuesday. Arnett had already spent his holiday at home because he did not work on Monday. The union filed a grievance demanding payment for the holiday computation. The union believes that Arnett deserved holiday pay subject to the collective argument. Next slide. The position is that John Arnett violated the contractual agreement. Arnett also violated the collective bargaining he was partied through Teamster Local 444. The company, Saga Food Services, will not pay John Arnett. The refusal to pay is subject to the fact that the employee did not work when he was supposed to. The HR department will furiously defend this position. Teamsters Local 444 contravenes the collective bargaining it signed with the company. Next slide. John Arnett's case is subject to the contractual law. John Arnett did violate the contractual agreement by not coming to work on Wednesday as expected. The company has no contractual obligation to pay him, as he did not get permission for his absenteeism. The company policy does not allow for payment for work not done. Therefore, Arnett does not deserve to be paid after failing to report to work. In fact, he should have been fired for not reporting on duty as per the collective agreement. Next slide. Arnett does not have a strong case for the demand of payment. The reason for his absentee, for example, the reason for his absentee is a holiday. Arnett did not deserve holiday because he did not work on Monday per the contractual agreement. Therefore, he could only be paid if he worked Tuesday and Thursday. Arnett's reason for absenteeism highlighted negligence on his part. Arnett was negligent because he knew he was not eligible for a holiday. Next slide. He claims that he deserves pay as part of his 4-day personal leave day. Arnett might claim his right to holiday pay like any other employees, and Arnett might insist that Tuesday was a holiday for every employee, hence he deserves the holiday pay. Arnett might allege or fake sickness, and the working hours violate the federal limit of 8-hour working days. Next slide. The justification of the position taken, denial of personal leave, human resource docket must grant permission for the personal holiday to be valid. There was no reason to demand a personal leave on Wednesday because he had spent the whole of the weekend at home. Mr. Arnett is subject to his 3 days off per week. The company had a shortage of staff, and granting Arnett a personal leave would have created unnecessary inconveniences to the business. The shift manager acted in the best interest of the business. Next slide. The company takes its contractual obligations seriously. The collective bargaining is read together and with the contract rules. Section 7.03 requires employees to get paid if they work the day before and the day after a holiday. Only the shift manager has the power to offer a waiver on this rule. John Arnett did not work Monday and Wednesday to deserve a holiday pay. Arnett did not prove any sickness and did not mention sickness as the reason for requesting personal leave. The company is experiencing financial challenges, thus the holiday pay goes to employees who sacrifice their holiday by working for the company. Next slide. John Arnett did not work on the official holiday, which was Monday. Arnett's normal working days were Tuesday through Friday. Paying Arnett will violate the contractual agreement and the company's policy. Paying Arnett will not make business or economic sense. The refusal to pay did not violate the collective bargaining. This is because the main rules in the employee is that the employee must work on holidays to be compliant to the holiday pay. Next slide. The selected plan of action would be to promise Arnett and the union adequate transparency in the future with respect to personal leave and holiday pay. Request employees to offer details why they are seeking personal leave. For example, employees should specify the number of paid personal leave days they deserve. Promise to comply with collective bargaining about pay of 4 personal holidays and many other holidays. And ensure that the managers do not deny employee personal leave if they deserve it. Next slide. Personal leave will be a motivational tool. Request employees to be familiar with the contract agreement and rules. Appreciate the union and its members for their patience and understanding. Promise to enhance communication between management and employees. Shift managers will be required to respond to employees' requests for personal leave immediately, and shift managers will give reason for acceptance or denial of personal leave. Next slide. In conclusion, John Arnett has been working as a truck driver for the company. He was subject to 4 10-hour days of work a week, and he deserves holiday pay for Monday and Tuesday that he worked. Arnett does not deserve holiday pay because he did not work Monday as required. The director of HR, myself, will defend this position to promote the best interest of our company. Next slide.